Die, My Love is a psychological drama that dives deep into the unraveling mind of a woman struggling with isolation, motherhood, and emotional instability. Set in a remote countryside, the story follows a young mother who moves far away from the city with her partner, hoping to build a peaceful new life. Instead of serenity, she encounters suffocating loneliness, a lack of support, and the overwhelming pressures of caring for a newborn. The quiet landscape becomes a mirror of her mental state. The protagonist's emotional decline begins subtly. At first, she appears restless and dissatisfied, unable to adjust to domestic life after once being fiercely independent. Her partner, loving but distant, fails to recognize the severity of her distress. Their communication deteriorates, turning ordinary conversations into tense confrontations. The film portrays how emotional neglect can exist even within a relationship that outwardly seems stable. As days blur together, her sense of identity erodes. She no longer recognizes herself as the vibrant person she once was. Motherhood, which she expected to bring fulfillment, instead feels like a trap. The film does not present her as simply unstable, but rather as someone suffocating under expectations she never chose. Her internal monologue, raw, angry, and often darkly humorous, reveals the depth of her frustration and despair. Nature plays a powerful symbolic role throughout the story. The rural setting, with its vast fields and silence, intensifies her sense of abandonment. Scenes of her wandering alone emphasize how cut off she feels from the world she once knew. The environment becomes both a refuge and a prison, offering space to scream yet no one to hear her. Her relationship with her child is depicted with uncomfortable honesty. She loves the baby, but the constant demands exhaust her physically and emotionally. The film refuses to romanticize motherhood, instead showing how postpartum struggles can distort perception and intensify pre-existing vulnerabilities. Moments of tenderness are quickly overshadowed by panic, anger, or numbness. Her partner's inability to understand her condition becomes a central conflict. He tries to maintain normalcy, focusing on practical matters while ignoring her emotional collapse. This disconnect highlights how mental health struggles often go unseen by those closest to us. His frustration grows as he interprets her behavior as rejection rather than a cry for help. As her mental state deteriorates, her actions become increasingly erratic. She oscillates between desperate attempts to feel alive and episodes of complete withdrawal. The film portrays this descent not as a sudden breakdown but as a slow fracture, each day chipping away at her stability. The audience is placed inside her perspective, making reality feel distorted and uncertain. Memories of her past life haunt her. Flashbacks suggest she once had ambitions, passions, and a sense of freedom that now feels unreachable. These glimpses create a painful contrast between who she was and who she has become. The film suggests that losing one's identity can be as devastating as losing a loved one. Anger becomes her primary language. She lashes out at her partner, strangers, and even herself. Yet beneath the rage lies profound grief for the life she imagined, for the autonomy she lost, and for the person she used to be. The film portrays anger not as cruelty, but as misdirected pain. Moments of dark humor punctuate the narrative, preventing it from becoming unbearably bleak. Her sharp observations about domestic life and societal expectations reveal intelligence and self-awareness. These flashes of wit remind viewers that she is not defined solely by her suffering. The story also examines how society often dismisses women's pain, especially when it conflicts with idealized images of motherhood. Her distress is minimized or misunderstood, leaving her feeling invisible. The film challenges viewers to confront uncomfortable truths about how mental health is treated. As tension builds, the line between reality and imagination begins to blur. The audience is never entirely sure which events are literal and which are filtered through her unstable perception. This ambiguity deepens the psychological intensity, making her experience feel immersive and disorienting. In its final act, the film reaches an emotional breaking point. Whether interpreted as tragedy, catharsis, or a cry for recognition, the climax forces viewers to confront the consequences of prolonged isolation and untreated mental illness. It leaves questions rather than clear answers, reflecting the complexity of real-life struggles. Ultimately, My Love is less about plot and more about emotional experience. It is a portrait of a mind under siege, exploring themes of identity, love, resentment, and survival. The film refuses easy resolutions, emphasizing that healing is neither simple nor guaranteed. Directed by Lynn Ramsey and based on the novel by Ariana Harwich, the story is brought to life by powerful performances from Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson. Their portrayals capture the fragile dynamics of a relationship strained by invisible wounds, making the film a haunting exploration of love pushed to its limits.